Owen Benjamin, thank you for joining me in the trenches.
Thanks for having me, man. And I apologize if I sound like a combination of RFK and Alex Jones today.
It's actually quite great. I must tell you, Alex Jones is the only guy that I know who can actually talk to the camera in an 80s, 90s cheesy way. You know, you'll say like, "What I'm about to tell you, come closer," and then the camera goes closer to him. It's the only guy I know who can pull that off.
That's so true. He's like, "Oh, I didn't notice you there. Come here, it's just me and you. Let's talk about China. Let's talk about the Chicoms. Hillary Clinton wants you to have a limp penis. We have to get that boner. We have to get patriotic boner pills."
I almost introduced you as Owen Wilson. I have no idea why.
There's not a lot of Owens. People do that a lot. But Owen Wilson's like the only other Owen. Now there's a bunch of Owen kids, but for someone my age, it was a very rare name.
Are you a fan, though, of his work? He's quite Owen a good Wilson, actor.
Yeah. I think Wedding Crash is really, I mean, his early stuff, like Bottle Rocket, I mean, they were making videos for like no money, independent, and a lot of those were really funny. Yeah, I think he's hilarious.
What's been happening, other than the fact that you have just been grilling Ian Carroll on X for weeks?
Yeah. I just keep calling him a ween wisher, a shaft sipper. Yeah, it's
Why?
Like because I don't know, that mustache. I feel like he's just rubbing it in everyone's face, you know. And he responded. He said he thought it was funny. He's like, "I don't think Owen Benjamin likes me, but I really think this is funny." I'm like, "I got no problem with you, man. I just don't like gays." And then the camera pushes in. I'm like, "I'm just not into guys that are willy whacking." And I did it in a fun way though. So like, you can't really ever get mad. I'm like, "Yeah, he's out here hammer hugging." You know, like it was like playful. So I hope he got a kick out of it. But now everybody's spiraling because he wore like a red Kabbalah bracelet. He guest hosted for Candace Owens. And he was wearing some red Kabbalah bracelet. Everyone's freaking out. He said his girlfriend's dad gave it to him. And I'm like, girlfriend? You know? I think all of his BlackRock research was because he was looking up, what's the vulgarity level for this network?
You can say anything you want.
I think Ian Carroll was looking up black cock. And he stumbled into a rabbit hole on BlackRock. I don't know. I just think it's possible.
What do you make of him, though?
Just came out of nowhere. Uses the stuff that we all talked about 6 years ago when we got kicked off YouTube, and he's like highly monetized. And I don't know. He just seems like he's got a little twinkle in his eye, like he's, you know, a fan of rollerblading, if you know what I mean.
I was disappointed when he was on Rogan, and he used Whitney Webb's Epstein work, and he didn't credit her.
No, I'm sure he probably yeah, those guys are all snakes, man. We're all standing on the shoulders of giants. It's all about shouting people out. Same thing in comedy. It's like, if I do a bit and then I find out someone did something similar before, I'm like, I shout them out. I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's great. We'll check out this guy's work." This whole like narcissistic, you know, sabotage everyone that, you know, you're using their jokes or their word. I mean, that just ends horribly every time. It's just we're social creatures. We're not supposed to do that. It's dishonorable.
Although, I mean, if you want to give him just a bit of credit, at least he's got now a fairly big platform to make those comments that, you know, that were being censored.
But you only get that platform if you're willing to play ball, in my opinion. It's like, you know, it's like, because he's not giving any solutions or he's not raising morale every day. That's why I keep making fun of him. Every day it's like, dude, they just killed an ostrich. The government killed an ostrich and there's nothing you can do. And I'm just like, Jesus, dude. Like, freaking, like, get people pumped. And that's why I think I'm so censored, is because, like, I think they're scared I'm going to start, like, I'm going to raise the birth rate or something. Because I'm always, like, getting people to have kids and garden and all this stuff. And that actually helps people not be so vulnerable. And so when you got despair, at least just have be funny about it. Just give somebody something to get them through the day versus the truth about who owns Pantene shampoo. You're like, oh, let me guess, Ian, you're obsessed with fucking shampoo. Fucking fruitcake.
And conditioner.
Yes, he's so into shampoo. He's like, here I am. Herbal Essence and Pantene is both owned by the same company. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Speaking of Rogan, your shows with him were taken down.
Yeah, I did 3 Rogans and they were all removed from the internet. That's why whenever people, and I'm like a super nice guy. This is the funniest shit is people like, oh yeah, Owen Benjamin, he went crazy. He's like so aggressive. That's why I just put up ladle.tv for $9.11 a month. Never forget. It's every podcast I've ever done all the way back when I started Why Didn't They Laugh? And if you go back and listen, I'm not the one who changed. I was always super nice and happy, and we're making fun of black guys and Jew. Me and the head writer of Family Guy, me and all these guys that are now that all pretend to be PC. They all are playing make believe. And I have my faults and I have my weaknesses, but I've always been fun to be around, and they all changed and they all play. It's like watching little kids pretend they're Spider-Man. I'm like, they're like, oh, I cannot believe. Did you hear what this person said? I'm like, dude, 6 months ago, I watched you black out, piss in your own mouth, screaming Jews. I know you. Are you going to pretend that you're not that guy? And they're like, oh, Owen Benjamin. And I'm like, all right. And I think they all lost their minds. I think they went nuts. That's why so many of them aren't funny anymore.
Hang on. All I caught from what you just said was $9.11.
Never forget.
Epic. That is epic trolling.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, people are writing me how funny it is when they get a bill and it just says 9/11. I don't know. I just thought that was fun. I'm retarded. I have the sense of humor of an 8-year-old.
You just said retarded. That word has made a comeback.
Yes. I think I'm going to take a little bit of credit for that one. I refuse to give up retarded.
But I mean, at the end of the day, humor is actually very, very important. There's that saying or that adage, laughter is the best medicine. And people are so offended by everything.
I know. And the funny thing about even the word offended, people are like, I'm offended. I'm like, offended doesn't mean anything. A pedophile is offended by an age of consent law. That offends a pedophile. Strong parenting offends pedophiles. It's what are you offended by? And then they have to establish a standard, which they don't have at all. It's oh, that's racist. I'm like, you're promoting Israel. Israel's an ethno-state. So you're not against it. And they're like, oh, but, lampshades and soap. And I'm like, you're fucking nuts, They're like, don't you know what happened 85 years ago with the German guy and soap? I'm like, listen to yourself. I know 15 guys that died of fentanyl personally. I'm like, you're talking about a fucking German guy making soap? What the fuck are you talking about? And they're just like, that's when they just shut down. They're like, we have to get him off TikTok. I'm like, yeah, because because comedy is always revelatory. That's what makes it so funny, is because it's an exaggeration of the truth, but it's the truth. And it's that's why when I just pointed out how short Joe Rogan was, everyone went nuts, because he's so small. Yeah, he's the littlest. And I'm not even against short people. It's just funny to me that you got this hyper masculine bow hunting fucking UFC guy, and he looks like he should be shot out of a cannon. He's one of those little minion guys from that movie, and with these little tiny legs. And I don't know. I guess that offended him.
Well, there is a limit. I mean, once you go to the dwarf, height, then it starts
Yeah.
getting all weird and people get funny again. Like in that Snow White movie that came out that completely tanked.
Oh yeah, I was just listening to a pod about that. I mean, Disney is just spiraling. That's why you can't try and make anyone happy. It's like you have to just be yourself. Because I can see every move they were making. They were like trying to placate some group, and they ended up pissing. Like now the dwarves hate Disney. Like actual dwarves are like, you give our jobs to big people. And Disney's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, it's because they're always trying to like please everyone. That's the thing about the woke left is they're actually like the most codependent people in the world. Just trying to they're like, oh, this trans wheelchair pedo is offended by the color blue. Let's fucking get rid of the ocean, you know? And you're like, dude, tell them to shut the fuck up. You know?
Who's that dude who acted as Tyrion Lannister? He got all offended with that whole Snow White dwarf thing. I can't remember his name now. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Yes. He got all upset about the whole dwarf thing.
Oh yeah, freaking out. And his last name's Dinklage. Like, dude, that's why that guy's so pissed all the time. Imagine a fucking midget named Dinklage. Like your life, I mean, you might as well be named like Little Ween, you know? It's like, my name is Peter Dinklage. And he's like, yeah, he's offended on behalf of fucking midgets. I'm like, dude, 50 years ago, we were feeding you to tigers. Like, relax. Like, take the win.
You made that cartoon some time back about everything being about branding.
Yeah, the Pol Pot. He's like,
Yes.
you're not getting it, Pol Pot. He's like, I kill million of Santai in jungle with gun. It's like, but that doesn't sell it, baby. You're not getting it. You got to sell it with the pile of shoes and a little girl with a red dress. It's like, no, but I kill more people. It's not about killing people, Pol Pot. It's about brand awareness. You want Killing Fields Incorporated? You got to sell it, baby. Come on, shoes. But I shoot Santai with gun. It's like, you're not getting it, Pol Pot. Genocide is not about killing people. It's about brand aware. I love that shit. It's like they made the Holocaust museums are like Six Flags Great Adventures, or, you know, it's like a Disney World. You know, it's like a big moneymaker. I want to franchise one.
A Holocaust museum.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do a McDonald's or a Subway, why not a Holocaust museum? I get some teeth, some fucking shoes, $50 at the door. It's a killer. It's great.
What would you charge for entrance? 6 cents.
$9.11. And on it says it just says $9.11, and it just says, and you know who did that, by the way. I actually looked into it. I tried to figure out how to franchise a Holocaust museum. And you can't. Like, there's no way to get your own one. So I guess they have a lock on that because it's a genius. I mean, people throw away shoes all the time, and it's like, I'll just put them in a pile and charge people and tell them that they did that.
You know what's funny, though, about the whole Holocaust industry, as Norman Finkelstein calls it, is that these days, I mean, what are we, 80 years away from it now? And you still see headlines about Holocaust survivor, but the number has gone up.
It'll always go up. Yeah, no, it'll just always keep going up. Dude, you can add your name to the Holocaust survivor list. Like, you can just add your name. I can be like, Peter Dinklage survived the Holocaust. That's why I was selling those mugs before I got banned from that bank. I literally got kicked out of a bank for this merch. It just said, I survived the Holocaust with a heart. And because it's like, how can you get mad at that? It's like, technically we did all survive the Holocaust.
But
you know, there was a Holocaust. We're all here. Yeah, you know, it's great news.
I think if you're Jewish, you just have to generally be born in the region somewhere near Germany to be able to make that claim. And generally,
and even being Jewish, like what is that? They're like, yeah, we can be atheist and black. We just have to lie a lot. That's what makes you Jewish. It's like, what the hell does that even mean? You're just like paranoid with a clipped dick. Like what? They can't even define Jew. You know,
if you push the envelope so much, and you do get cancelled everywhere, you do end up kind of losing because you can't really beat the machine.
Yeah, but see, I was never trying to beat the machine. That's why you can't really get canceled if you're just focusing on your craft. Because like, if you're trying to like I was always just trying to be funny, you know? And so, yeah, I got kicked off everything, but I'm right now I'm with you, you know, talking and I ended up better than I ever thought I'd end up. It's like every time I get pissed off thinking about, you know, stupid ween whacking Ian Carroll just crushing on TikTok, and I'm fucking like so thankful I'm allowed on BitChute. I just look at my life and I'm like, I live in a Norman Rockwell painting. I have like this awesome family that respects me. I grow all my own food. My listeners are legendary. It's like I learned so much about life from these struggles that I wouldn't change a thing. And if I go back 15 years, I would be so pumped how my life turned out, you know? But if I measure it in just like how big the crowd is or my movie credits or whatever, it's like, yeah, like they did kick me out of everything, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
I mean, are you? Do you wake up every day with a smile on your face?
Yeah, today not so much because I got our time zones wrong and I sound like RFK. But because I've been losing my voice, so I'm just like, my wife hung herself because I can't stop fucking. Yeah, but I feel really good. I'm pumped.
Where do you think his voice comes from, and also Alex's voice for that matter?
I think RFK is from heroin and eating asses. But Alex, I'm dead serious. I think he got like parasites. Like that one dude got throat cancer, and he said it was from so much box contact. What was that guy's name? Michael Douglas. Remember that? Catherine Zeta-Jones's husband. Literally said, no, it's from, and he said it was from too much cunnilingus. That's what he said. And then you look at RFK, like a guy that was strung out on heroin as a Kennedy for decades, he'd fuck a trash can. If it just like had a smiley face on it, he'd just start fucking it. And if you're on that road, it's like, though that bacteria gets in your throat, you're a little messed up. And so Alex, I think it was from booze and Chi-Coms, you know, understanding Hillary Clinton, it might be in the sewer somewhere. I think he just got so fired up that he got dehydrated, and it's like, and his vocal cords got a little fucked. But I think his voice is hilarious. I love it. He's like, listen, Patriots mount up. Yeah, Alex is great.
I was on a show. I was on Alex's show yesterday, and somebody messaged me saying, let me know if you think that is the real Alex. And my response was, it absolutely is, because nobody can interrupt as smoothly as Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. He probably just like got some TRT or some shit, you know? Just jacked it up.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, I mean, RFK, what is he, like 70 something? And he's pretty jacked.
Yeah, he's you know, he hates big pharma except for the Pfizer shots he gets for his fucking testosterone, you know? He's like, big pharma except for like my boner pills. You know, those guys are getting fucking jacked. I'm scared of taking TRT. I think I'd get too intense. I'm like already 6'8" and very problematic, you know? So if my testosterone went up more, it would, I mean, I kind of like being more mellow now. Like in my 40s, it's like I'm not just constantly have to crush all the time, you know? I like it.
Yes, I mean, go back to what you were saying earlier. You said you grow your own food and all that. I mean, so are you into homesteading?
Yeah, I have cows, goats, alpacas, year-round greenhouse, you know, 100 fruit trees. Yeah, and then I got property up north where a lot of forest. It's on a river. It's epic. Yeah, I like to be. I'm on a well. You know, I'm one of those truthers that I figure shit out and then I actually do the thing that you're supposed to do. Where it's like, oh, there's fluoride in the water. Edward Bernays, it's aluminum byproduct. It makes you docile. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get on a well. And then some of those other dudes, like years later, they're like, oh yeah, we're still drinking fluoride. I'm like, I thought we figured that one out, guys. You know, and I'm like that with growing food and all that shit too.
So what? You try and actually walk the talk is what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's what gets people the most pissed off about me, even in like the alternative wings, you know, like I spiral people when they, like people are talking about like white replacement and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, that's why you can have a bunch of white people with your dick. It's called having kids. I just had 4 sons, you know, and they're like, and then like, I think the shame kicks in and then they kind of like throw it at me. And I'm like, guys, you can just have a bunch of kids, like white, angelic kids. Like, let's make some angels. And they're just like, Owen Benjamin's a Jew, a gay Jew. I'm like, if I'm a gay Jew, then those words are now meaningless. Like, that's not a word, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I think people would think that because of your surname.
It's my middle name. It's like, my name is Owen Benjamin Smith, and there was an Owen Smith comedian that was in the Screen Actors Guild, and for years I fought, and he's black too, and I fought that black bastard over the name. And I get booked at the Improv like 2004, and it'd be like Owen Smith, and the black guy got mad, and he had more credits at the time. So the booker was like, just go with your middle name. I'm like, that's fucking weird, man. My name's Owen Smith. And they're like, just middle name. It's fine. I'm like, I had a coach named Coach Benjamin. I'm like, that's fine. And now it's like all this gotcha shit on Twitter. They're like, okay, Benju, man. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And they're like, it says the Jew. I'm like, okay, dude. If a 6'8", uncircumcised, blue-eyed guy that farms in Idaho and says nigger openly is a Jew, then Jews don't fucking exist.
What is up with society that they're always trying to bring down people that like yourself? Why do you? I mean, is it there's something sociopathic?
Yeah, but there is a function to it, and that's why I do accept it, because it's like, it's almost like testing someone to see if they can handle it. That's what I think the role of that type of guy is in nature. It's almost like the coyote tests my fence line. Like I live around like actual wolves and like giant predatory animals. So it's like, you got the coyote out there. They're always testing. They're always testing to see if your fence is strong. And so I think that that's kind of what they're doing with people. If someone starts getting success or starts being seen as, you know, elevated in any way, people will just start attacking to see if they spurg out. I think the people that are attacking don't realize any of this. I think in their mind, they're just projecting their own shame and insecurities. But I don't mind it, because I think that's the natural function of it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's some sort of power game. They always want to be one step above you.
Yes. Yeah, and well, I'll tell you, this is my opinion on this. It's actually kind of philosophical. So my motto was always, I might be wrong, but I'm not lying, you know? And that always sets up the dynamic of like, listen, I might be wrong with what I'm saying, and you know, but I'm genuine. And so you can't really get mad if someone's genuine, you know, because what do you want me to do? Lie to make you feel better, you know? And then their motto is, I might be lying, but I'm not wrong. So that their will and themself is the arbiter of truth. And so if they feel bad, it means that if they feel bad about something, it means that thing is wrong, that reality and truth itself is attacking them. And so when you're in that world, you're always putting down everybody that you think is a threat to you in any way. Whereas someone like me, I'm always just trying to reach for a higher level of craft. Like, I don't matter, you know, like I'm trying to, like, I'm competing against myself, my own weakness. So it's like, if I'm playing classical piano, I'm not thinking like, how do I destroy the other piano player that plays better than me? You know, it's like, no, I think like, how do I master this craft more? And it's like that with comedy. Like when I see somebody that's really funny, I like take a lot of joy in that. I'm like, oh wow, you just helped elevate me towards an untouchable perfection that we're all trying to yearn for, versus versus like a craftsman that is, not focused on that, on serving others or on truth. They're focused on their own ego. And it's a sickness. It's like a deep sickness.
Ego. I think you're right. It's about ego. Definitely. It's weird though, because do you think Jordan Peterson has a point though about being anonymous on the internet?
Yes.
And
no, Jordan Peterson makes a lot of great points, and then he says the craziest shit in the world. Yeah, like that's the thing is I'm not motivated by like hating guys. Like I'll make fun of Ian Carroll for being a fruit fucker or whatever, and a knob ninja, and people are like, oh, you hate Ian Carroll. I'm like, I don't hate really anybody. I don't hate Jordan Peterson. I think he's one of the biggest shills ever. To the point where if he says something true, I'm like, yeah. Like he'll totally say true shit about like a percentage of the population that's like psychotic and Machiavellian. I did just talk to Vox about Machiavelli though. I think a lot of people got Machiavelli wrong. But anyway, but he just doesn't include his bosses like Ben Shapiro and stuff. Like that's where he's the liar. Like he's explaining something accurately and it's him, And but yeah, I mean the anonymous thing online is, I think people should be allowed to be anonymous, but I don't think people should really take them. I don't think anyone should listen to them unless they want to. They don't matter. If someone can't put their name next to something, they don't really matter. Because they could just be lying.
But I think what I'm asking is, do you think that being anonymous encourages that sociopathic mindset?
Being anonymous. There's no social consequence. I think it reveals. I think it's like money. Money reveals people's character. You give someone like when you don't have a lot of money, sometimes people's like angels and demons aren't really fed. And so you give someone a bunch of money and then you see what they really are. Or, during COVID, it's like you scare people and then you see who has the balls and who doesn't. It's like in times of crisis and in times of feasting, you can see what's hidden beneath people. And so I think anonymity is a similar thing. Like what website would people go to if everyone could see what sites they're going to? Like if there was a social ramification for going to like blacks on blonde gangbang sites, it's like, is your principal really, if they weren't anonymous, would they do that? And so that's why I always I had a Hollywood agent 20 years ago tell me, never write an email unless you're comfortable with it being on the front page of the New York Times. And I was like, I'm just going to live like that. That's why I'm so nakedly obvious online, because I'm like, I operate under the idea that everyone can see everything anyway, that your smart TV can literally register your pulse. I know some shit about the bio world that's nuts. I think that there are sensor abilities with Wi-Fi and nanotechnology and all that where they can tell if you're aroused, angry, sleepy, like at all times. I think the amount of data that people can get on your behavior is insane. So I just don't lie.
It's kind of like going into a pub or a bar with like a balaclava on so that nobody can see who you are.
Yeah, like what Kanye did on Alex. Yeah, like he literally did that. He put a giant black mask on his face.
He carried a Bible.
Yeah. It's like, when no one knows who you are, who are you? That's it. It's very philosophical. And some people online, like they'll do this trolly shit and they're so scared of being revealed. They're like, oh, you doxed me. I'm like, why? Because I said, hi, Mike. Like, whoa. Oh, how dare you? I'm like, dude, what are you up to, man? What are you sneaking around?
You mentioned Kanye. What do you think of his new song?
After he said he sucked his cousin's dick, I was kind of out. You heard that song, right? Where it's like, I suck my cousin's dick. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm just tapping out. Did you see that video I made of Hitler learning about the Kanye song?
No.
Oh my God, dude. I gotta send you this video. You know that meme of like from The Downfall where it's a movie
he's hitting the desk.
Yeah, where he's spiraling. I did that with the Nazis come in and they're like, sir, one of the biggest stars in the world just released a song saying Hail Hitler. And Hitler's like, that's awesome. He sounds great. I can't wait to, make fun of gay Negroes with him. And they like do that look and they're like, sir, it's Kanye West. And he just freaks out. He's like, he just said he sucked his cousin's dick. He's like, because Hitler would have spiraled about this, or else there's no Hitler. Like, what's the point? If he's into a black rapper that literally brags about gay incest, then what's the point? Like, just be a George Soros Patreon supporter. That's how it ends. Hitler's like, he joins George Soros' Patreon. He's like, this is why the Jews always win. He's like, can we just not support a gay Negro and a fucking Mexican cat boy named Fuentes? He's like, his last name might as well be Burrito. Like, how hard is it to not do that?
But you know what I like about it though, Owen, is that it's popularizing the ability to speak about Hitler.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good shit about it. Like, I like some of the effects on society. Yeah. Yeah, it's like overnight, the word nigger is okay. It's same with the Shiloh thing, which I think may be AI. I mean, I'm a little wacky, but it's like overnight, the shame MK Ultra thing around words, because I've been fighting this fight for years, and that's why I was very supportive of that lady. Hopefully she exists, because it's like, that was great. Because I would ask the question online, the lady that called the little thief nigger.
Oh, her. Yeah, that she raised like $1 million or something.
Yeah, and I was loving that, And so, because I asked these questions years ago, I said, why is necrophilia not the N-word? Like, that's having sex with a dead body. I actually had this conversation with Kanye West about this. He was like, yeah, but that's not as bad as rape. I'm like, just stick with the fucking topic, Kanye. I'm like, how is N-word... Like, you have to censor this word, but not that. I think I might have influenced him a bit on this topic with the Hitler stuff.
But it's also so ridiculous because when someone takes the time, just think about this. They take the time to type out the N-word.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. No, it used to drive me like crazy. It was like the N-word. And it also implies that everyone knows what it is. So my thing I like to do is be like, which N-word? And they're like, I'm like, no, there's like thousands of words that start with N, like, which N-word? It's like, the one that we should never call black people. I'm like, neighbor?
But also, the thing I don't get, though, is if you listen to hip-hop, they say it all the time.
Yeah, and they're always talking about killing. They're always like, yeah, I put a bullet in this nigga, then I pissed on the nigga. And all the Jews are like, oh, yeah. And then anything else... They don't. And that's the whole psyop. The whole psyop is that. I was like, I was having a fight with Jeffrey Wright on Twitter before I was banned for 5 years. I was like, what's more offensive? Saying, I have a lot in common with those niggers down the street, or I want to kill every African American. And they'd be like, oh, how dare you? And that's when that's why they just ban you. Because I'm like, you now know I'm right. Chris Rock did this 30 years ago. I love black people, but I hate niggas. You know what a nigga does? And the whole thing is it's white people, white trash. It's the same concept. It's like it's a behavior subcategory of a ethnic group. And so you're like, Chris Rock like nailed that bit. He's like, yeah, you want to hide something from a nigga, you put it under their work boots because niggas don't work. And the black audience is like, because that's ironically, this whole N-word charade is implying that all black people are niggers, which is actually super funny to me.
And it's also very stupid because it's giving power to a word.
Right. And it's taking power from it shames and cucks white people in a way that's so pathetic. And then it also like makes black people look like babies, like actual babies, where they're like, oh, if you say the word, I'm like, what? Voldemort? Is it Voldemort? You know, it's like Harry Potter shit.
But I mean, also, you said African American. I mean, that's also a ridiculous term.
It's all ridiculous. I think there was some indigenous blacks here too. Yeah, I mean, it's named after a Roman too, Africanus, right? It's like it's always going back to the whites.
I mean, Elon Musk and Charlize Theron are African American.
That's true. Yeah,
That's how
and
ridiculous
my
it
favorite
is.
guy, Kruger.
Yeah, so you told me you bought a Kruger Rand.
Yeah, I saw the gold thing coming. I was like, dude, gold's gonna fucking go up. And I just kept looking at this dude. I'm like, this guy looks like a legend. And I was looking into that. And you were telling me about the Boer War and Britain and how the Boers fought them for 2 years and they thought they were going to be home by Christmas, which is legendary. But yeah, South Africa has an amazing history. And you were telling me about when the world was boycotting you, it was safer. Dude, that's the same thing with me being canceled. It's like people look at me where they're like, oh, that must be so hard on you. I'm like, bro, I was like South Africa in the 70s. It was great.
South Africa now is more dangerous.
Way more dangerous, yeah. Like way worse.
Try and figure that one out.
Yeah, I know, it's nuts. And I remember when there was that sweatshirt. I don't know if you know this about me. You might get a kick out of this. Remember when there was that sweatshirt with they were selling at the Gap or H&M that said "coolest monkey in the jungle" in South Africa, and they like rioted because it was a black child model for H&M. And they were selling a hoodie that said "coolest monkey in the jungle."
Oh,
and
I think I remember.
They burned down the H&M. So I started selling those hoodies right after. I started selling "coolest bear in the woods," "coolest monkey in the jungle." Like literally I was daring them to fucking to make a story out of it. And the media did the right move and they left it alone because I was like wearing coolest monkey in the jungle, and I was like exactly taking their merchandise idea. Like I wanted them to be like file a claim or something against me because it would have started this hilarious dialogue about like, you know, why can't I be the coolest monkey in the jungle? Is it only for black people? Like, why are you offended by that? You know?
One of the things I don't understand, you were talking about the media, is why are they always on the wrong side of history?
That's inverted. I mean, that's when you get spiritual, when it's like yes is no, no is yes, love is hate. You know, like the fact they demonize mothers. It's like, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom. It's like Chesterton is so right about that, where it's like it's the job is mother and everything else is to support that job. And that's not like a cuck statement either. It's like what makes kids into good people, you know? And so like, would you rather have her be a fucking corporate lawyer? You know, it's like they act like that's success and they demonize mothers. So I think it's the same thing. I think when you're inverted, everything is the opposite. Like I know that I'm like a loving dude. Like I'm a happy, loving guy. And they would look at me and see hatred because I live, you know, and then if you have a bunch of kids, it means you hate the environment. It's like, no, like what the fuck are you talking about? You know, they see like humans as a virus on the earth and it's just like sickness. It's like a spiritual sickness in my opinion.
They say that history repeats itself, goes in cycles. Do you think that comedy will go back to some of the golden years again?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot more funny stuff online now than I was 4 or 5 years ago, but I think they did realize the power of comedy and they're going to always be fucking with it now because it's like the social control and social engineering ability of comedy with the Overton window and all that is nuts. I mean, even just me censored, the ripples I was sending out with jokes were like catching waves and breaking social engineering. That I think that's why Netflix literally pays billions of dollars to try and keep all the comedians in line because it's like to normalize evil. Laugh tracks are notorious for normalizing evil. It's like because a certain type of person, like they're called like sheeple, they're like herd animals, where like if they hear a bunch of people laughing, they're like, oh, this is good then, I should laugh along. And it's like psychologically crazy powerful. So I don't think they're ever going to let go. I think they're going to try and always front run it and then make it look like it's rebellious. Like Joe Rogan being like having all the media attacking Joe Rogan that he was like attacking trans people. And he's like, listen, trans women are women, but some are fucking crazy. I'm like, it's gatekeeping. It's like, no, it's a guy who cut his dick off. Like that. It's a guy. Like, that's a guy, Joe. So, like, he'll do his offensive thing after establishing a new ridiculous leftist fact. Where it's like, yeah, obviously trans women are women. I mean, just like your mother. But, like, some are crazy. I'm like, I'm not signing off on that, Joe. And the people that aren't laughing, it's not because they're offended. It's because it's fucking not funny. That's why a lot of this stuff isn't funny anymore.
Yeah, I mean the last 20 years of comedy have not been funny.
No. And it did used to be funny. I'm not just being a boomer. Like if you watch
Richard Pryor.
Or like old SNL, it's like those Phil Hartman sketches and those Chris Farley sketches. I mean, they're way funnier. Like those characters. I mean, Will Forte is still funny. I mean, I just rewatched MacGruber. That made me laugh. Yeah. But most of it is fucking terrible. Exiting Hollywood is like, I watched Zach Galifianakis do a nigger joke on stage, and like a year later, everyone's pretending that the word family is offensive. I'm like, guys, I have a memory. Like, I remember this. And those jokes were so funny. It's not even anti-black people. It's like, he did this bit, he goes, I never say sand nigger. Unless I'm at the beach sometimes and I say, get off the sand, nigger. Volleyball's a white man's sport. Like, it's just silly jokes like that. Sarah Silverman, same thing. She used to go, I just saw 300. I think it was name 300 because the question was, how gay is it out of 1 to 10? Like everyone made fun of gays. I sang a song about Jimmy Fallon getting AIDS. And one of the lines was, not gay AIDS, full-blown African AIDS. And then I went on tour with the guy. Like, no one fucking cared. And then all of a sudden it was like, I think it's financial systems, dude. I think it's end of empire shit. I think like when the bills start coming in, people are like fucking, they're just always paranoid weirdos.
There are one or two comedians in the mainstream sort of touching on those boundaries. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his LGBT joke was taken word for word from me. I don't know if you've seen those side by sides.
No ways.
Bro, it's like it was getting millions of views, the comparison, until my YouTube was taken down. I wrote that joke. It started with the L's. You got the L's. And the L's just want to knick-knack and go and drive their Subaru. And then you got the G's. This is my joke. It's like the G's are like more into like cocaine and real estate. And then you got the B's. The B's will fuck anyone. Anybody? Yeah, the B's are fucking gross. And then you got the T. And dude, the whole Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year, hasn't been a woman for a full year, is in one of my specials from 2017. And so when I did it, it was like, see, the way they gatekeep is timing. So like, because I don't want to sound like I'm whining. I promise I'm not. It's a powerful point when you see it. So Caitlyn Jenner's rolled out Woman of the Year. I do the joke that month. Dave Chappelle does it 6 years later on Netflix. They roll out the controversy, but it's all over now. Like all the DSM-6 was changed. Gender dysphoria is no longer a mental illness. Pharmaceutical companies have made billions fucking castrating children. It's like the scam's over. It's kind of like people now being anti-vax. It's like, yeah, that it's done now though, you know? And so, yeah, that's how they gatekeep it.
I didn't know that. Gee.
Oh, dude, it was like a whole, that Kanye said that on Alex Jones. He was like, Dave Chappelle, you stole Owen Benjamin's joke. Like the black people had my back. It was like all over World Star and shit. They're like, oh man, that's cold, Dave. And I don't even think Dave stole it. I think it was probably one of his writers. But it was like, so I did all this cutting edge shit. So I got kicked off Patreon. I was in a lawsuit with them for 2 years to try and get back on. They spent millions not letting me back on over a Me Too joke where I was like, but it was during the PSYOP. I was like, I just went to one of these female rallies, and I went up to these ladies, and I'm handing out condoms, and I'm like, listen, ladies, if you're going to make a mistake, at least be safe. And they're like, what are you talking about? This is about female empowerment. I'm like, I've seen the Twitter, ladies, all over Twitter all day long. Pound me too, pound me too. Hey, excuse me, pound me too. And they're like, that's a hashtag. I'm like, no, in my world, that's a pound sign, and you all sound like a bunch of thirsty whores, right? So it's just a joke about me not understanding it's a pound sign versus hashtag. Okay, they said that I was mocking the victims of sex abuse. I'm like, no, I'm mocking the fact that CAA, my former agency, rolled this out because Harvey Weinstein is raping people. I'm like, I'm mocking you fucking crazy people. And like, quote unquote victims of sexual abuse were like, dude, I laughed so hard at that because it was a mockery of it. And so Patreon from that tweet said that I couldn't be on Patreon. And I was like, but that's off platform. And I felt like they were really coming at American freedom. So I was like, I went at Patreon legally that there was tortious interference and all this. And I fought for years. That's why when I see these Ian Carroll clowns, I'm like, you were nowhere to be found when the fights were actually happening, you know? And some people get famous off just like Jew noticing and shit. I'm like, no, I was repped by the biggest Jews in the world, and I called it out because they were fucking running cover for pedophilia, and I lost millions of dollars over it. And now you're calling me a gay Jew. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then the people that get it see it, and that's why my audience is so awesome, because it's like good. I don't want to sound biased, but it's like if someone can see how ridiculous that is, they're typically solid people. And if someone's like, oh, Owen Benjamin, that's a Jew name. Oh, it's my middle name. Oh, well, and they don't like apologize. I'm like, oh, so you're like a nonsense zombie. And those people, their lives suck. Like I've watched this for years. Like they get this hubris. They think they're like winning something, and then it just all crashes because, you know, life really does not support liars.
Owen, what do you think is actually the point of comedy?
Pressure relief. I think comedy is almost like it's like the way that we can say the true thing out loud and know that we're not alone. That's safe. You know, it's like very important for society. That's why when I'm watching the kings and queens and elites of this world try and shut down comedy, I'm like, you guys are fucked if you do that. Like that's like keeping society going. I'm like, that's when they start chopping heads if you can't fucking laugh about how nuts you people are. But their lies got so crazy, they probably like debated it. Like, you know, like if these lies come out, you know, what's worse, or we let people joke about it, but I don't know. I think they made a horrible call with censoring comedy because people need that truth release. Like if these farmers of men, like I picture the Rothschilds almost like how I farm cows, where I like, you know, I move the pastures, I milk their future generations of their milk, you know. And it's like if they want milk, they can't let the cows all die, you know. It's like they need high quality people in order to fucking parasitically take from us, you know. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
But I mean, what you're saying is that comedy is a type of gauge of how free we are.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they go to tyranny, that it's like a clock starts before overthrow. You know, it's like statecraft and governance is very, very, it's like a very advanced craft. So like if they just lock down and just are like telling us what we have to do and we have no freedom and all this, then their world starts falling apart because then oligarchs start killing each other. And there's a huge history of all of this. And they've learned this over the years. That's why democracy is their favorite. Because when you consent it like pressure releases that. You blame it on the other half of the country. Oh, it's because of Trump. Oh, it's because of Kamala, whatever. That way they can still do the agenda, but like all that anger just goes sideways. You know, red team, blue team. That's why they don't care who you vote for. It's just like vote. And because if they were just to say like the government never sent anyone a mask. No one got a mask in the mail. Like there was no one said wear this mask. It was all consent driven. And so comedy is important to give people that feeling that they're free. Because if not, it's like the whole system just gets fucking annihilated. And then it's crazy.
There were a bunch of comedians that I quite enjoyed before the COVID era, and naturally, I found myself getting disappointed, like the music industry. You know, some of them just bent to the establishment, and I couldn't understand why they did that. I mean, some comedians who are, you know, famous started ripping into those of us who were going against the ridiculous tyranny.
Yeah, and there was no consequence. They all got more movies, more money, more everything.
Even
they
Bill
did
Burr,
it.
Even Bill Burr, who I thought was very good.
I know he used to be funny. That's what makes it even worse. It's like, because he knows better. It's like almost worse, you know? Yeah, no, they like make it seem like you're a fucking moron if you don't want to put an experimental liquid made by a guy who gets awards for lowering the world population into your kid's arm. It's like, and I'm stubborn. Like I'm like, I will not comply. And the amount of cards they have, it's all based on comfort and money, but it's like they pull cards, you know, they ostracize and all these comedian entertainers, most of them have these like personality disorders where they need attention and validation. So, and I, for some reason, just don't. Like, I just slipped through. I think it was because my dad was an opera singer and a rhetoric professor. So I was like born to do this shit as a craft. It isn't because I have a hole in my heart, you know? And so I'm like, okay, you don't like me. All right. And like most comedians would spiral if like people were saying something bad about them or a rumor was going around. It's like, they're the biggest bunch of bitches in the world. They're like, that's why in every interview, they're always like, oh, working with him was so great. Oh, I love him. We're like best friends. Oh yeah, working with Stanley Tucci, it was like unbelievable. Oh, working with Quentin Tarantino was unbelievable. I'm like, really? He does coke for days online and screams nigger more than anyone in the world. Isn't that a funny story? Oh, how dare you, Owen Benjamin? I'm like, okay, so we're all just gonna play make-believe?
The thing
Not
is,
me.
they all don't actually believe any of the stuff that they say.
They believe nothing. They don't believe truth exists. They're all moral relativists. They're like, whatever is true is whatever will get them more feed, whatever that little demon is for each different person. You know, attention, money, praise, like whatever that is, that's what true is. And that's why they'll change on a dime, where it's like, you'll see these people one day be calling me, like Candace Owens has publicly called me an anti-Semite before, and she never apologized. And then you'll just see them switch and go, oh, Frank is, you know, they're fucking eating babies. And I'm like, hey, Candace, I was getting kicked off PayPal when you did that with Dennis Prager, you fuck. But it's okay, you know, good for her.
Owen, I don't think you're an anti-Semite. I mean, from what I can tell, you've got nothing against Arabs.
Right, exactly. You know what Semite means. That's great. Yeah, everything's inverted. It's like you have these white-skinned Barbara Streisand-looking fucks saying that it's anti-Semitic to be against them when Semite literally means like a group derived from the Arabic language. Yeah, it's all nonsense. They're like little nonsense kids. And that's why motherhood is so important, because it's like they look to me like a 3-year-old that never learned how to be a human. They're just like, you know, like little kids can be like, they're awesome, but they can also be like little monsters. And that's why you have to like teach them how to be good people. And these fucking people just never had that. And that's why they're just like, it's right, because in my mind, I'm a princess. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, what's the moral of the story?
dude, the moral of the story is life is actually awesome and fair. And it's like, focus on the good, the true, the beautiful, and have a big laugh. You know, it's like, enjoy that hearty show. That's what's so good is coming out of the Kanye song. I know I can make fun of the dick sucking cousin stuff, but it's like to let people get rid of false shame. Like, people should have shame for being cowards or not working hard or lying, you know? But they should not have shame for their history. Like, look at South Africa. Like, the Boers have an awesome history. It's like, imagine just being shamed for that. It's like, oh, you stole the land. Dude, I had a funny back and forth with, or he didn't respond, but Matt Walsh was going on this rant about it sounds good at first. Like, I'm not even criticizing the guy, but it's like, he's like, the left is implying that white people have no homeland anywhere and we've stolen all the land and that nowhere on earth is white people's homeland. And I'm like, what if it isn't? What if we're fucking angels? It's like, what if like we are like part angel, you know? And it's like, they're from the dirt. And then people are like, what the fuck kind of take is that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of rolling with it. Like, what if the woke left is right, but they're just mad about it? Like, what if we really aren't from here? And then people don't know how to respond to that. I'm like, all right, 2-drink minimum, folks. Pay your waitresses.
So how long before Matt Walsh leaves?
I don't know. I mean, but see, it's like chess. Ben Shapiro needs authenticity like a vampire needs blood. So, you know, that's why Joe Rogan had Ian Carroll on, because someone like me can see Ian Carroll and think he's up to something. But for Joe Rogan, that was so needed because people are not listening to Joe like they used to. So they need authenticity. Like, because Joe was such a cuck with, you know, Jews and all that shit. That Ian comes on, gives Joe credibility. And that's because he is more interesting and he's saying stuff that's now in the zeitgeist and people are talking about, but they can control him. Ben Shapiro has the same problem. It's like, does he fire Matt Walsh and then he's still the fastest growing conservative podcast? It's like, he's just like an empty vessel with an agenda. And so Matt Walsh kind of pushing back and saying more true stuff is needed by Ben. But then Ben has a line where if Matt crosses it, his funders, everybody that pays him won't pay him. So it's a fucking dance that the moral of the story is I'm glad I don't have to do that Babylonian two-step anymore, you know? Not that I ever did it, but I don't even have to think about it, where it's like, well, what does my sponsor want? I'm like, I'm sponsored by the people that listen. They pay me, you know?
But you know what was great about Joe having Ian on his show was a few days later, Joe had Douglas Murray on. Did you see that?
With Dave Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, that was so fascinating. Like, Douglas Murray was so strange.
He just melted.
Yeah, in my opinion, it wasn't even close. Like, the people mocking Dave Smith for that, and I make fun of everybody. Like, that's just my thing. But Dave Smith smoked him. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like, Douglas Murray was like, haven't you been there? And Dave Smith's like, what do you mean? He's like, but you haven't been. It's like, dude, that's not a logical argument. So if you go to Israel, you can have it. And if you go to Israel and still have that opinion, they'll just have another problem. Like Anna Kasparian or whatever, like, she's fucking spent a lot of time in Gaza. And I'm sure Douglas Murray wouldn't be like, but have you been? He'd be like, are you funded by Qatar? Like, they're just fucking liars, you know? I don't know why they'd be like, because this is what broke the spell with me about abortion. Because I was always very easy to go along with stuff. You know, I'd be like, oh yeah, if a woman's like, it's her body, totally. Like, these fucking Bible thumpers, like, I could totally go down that road. It's when they looked pumped about it. That's when I was like, what is this? Because like when they got 40-week abortions passed in New York, the spell had been broken for me before when I first had a kid, but like, and they lit up the Empire State purple and they're like applauding and screaming in euphoria. I'm like, dude, this is evil as shit. And I see the same thing with Gaza. It's like, you know, wars happen, right of conquest is true. You know, it's like the Boers. I think the Boers conquered that area and they have a right to it. I'm not anti-violence, but it's like when you're like pumped That's when I'm like, I smell sulfur. I'm like, this is like evil. You know, when they're like, when they're speaking of the Palestinians, like, you know, like they're taking glee in these horrific acts of war, you know, and that to me is where it's evil, you know.
How can I follow your work, Owen?
Well, ladle.tv for $9 a month. Unauthorized.tv, we were
and
unauthorized.tv. But yeah, exactly. Unauthorized.tv, me and Vox Day. He has a great blog. You'd love Vox. I don't know if you know Vox, but he's an OG legend in a lot of these spaces. Like, he coined the term Sigma male and gamma. Like, he's the guy that like writes the book that ripples out, and then you see in a movie, but he like is in a castle in Switzerland, you know. So me and him have worked on Unauthorized for years. When I was first kicked off YouTube, and you know, they say, well, this is why Douglas Murray fucks can all go to hell. They're like, oh, just make your own website. We're like, okay. So we did, and $5 a month, and we figured out how to pay for our own servers and all this stuff. And it was crushing. And then we get kicked out of a bank, another payment processor, and has to always rebuild. And so last March, we got kicked off a payment processor, just got another one. And it's working a lot better because we have a more direct line now, so we don't need the middleman like we used to. So if people want to resubscribe to unauthorized.tv, like, that's the struggle Ian Carroll will never have to face because of his sweet Freddie Mercury fucking mustache. And also at Owen Benjamin on Twitter. For whatever reason, Twitter's like open for business, so I'm grateful for that. OwenBenjamin.com. I also teach a piano class, which is, I really enjoy just doing something outside of space and just something like healthy. Courses.owenbenjamin.com. And yeah. And I have my own social media app that's all clean, like, and uplifting and about farming and homesteading. That's the Bertaria Times app, wherever you get your apps. Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it.